Face your fears and gain control of your life. We're all human and therefore we all have fears. Some of us fear death, others fear being alone, and others fear social situations. Welcome to STEAM Executive. My name is Sean Donovan, and with me today is Mahesh Trivedi. And we're talking about courage and facing your fears and gaining control of your life. If you can think of it, there's someone somewhere that's afraid of it. But fear is a normal part of life. It's what protects us and what keeps us safe. There are times, though, when fear can hinder us and stop us from enjoying life and experiencing new joys. When your fear starts to limit what you do in life, you need to conquer that fear. Does your fear of flying stop you from traveling to visit family members or prevent you from taking the vacation of your dreams? What about socializing with co-workers after work? Have you turned down social invitations simply because you're anxious about not knowing anyone in the group? If your fears are stopping you from taking advantage of the new opportunities in your life, then it's time to regain control of your life and disallow your fears from paralyzing you. After all, you can't live in a bubble. It's time to start living your life instead of watching life pass you by. So Mahesh, there's an introduction for you.
Yes,
What would
thank
you
you.
like to say about being courageous and overcoming and facing your fears?
Um, that is really a very good topic for today. Like in a times of uncertainty, and every day people are having more and more anxiety, and like worries and the concerns and the doubts. So all those things, and as you said that everyone has fear of some kind. Like either fear of failing or fear of self image or whatever it may be, because we are all human beings, and as a humans we have some fear. But the first thing is that we can always take some baby steps, and in those baby steps, first thing first, like we should identify our fears. So once we identify our fears, that in a like a number one, number two, number three, probably just to list two or three, because once you overcome two or three, you'll be very used to. Then next baby step is you try to um, uh, find out or try to explore or have a deep self reflection that why you have that fear. Like a do do you have some any past incident, or do you have any other reference, or it is just a imagination or perceptions? And um, and 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 and, and the third thing is also consider, today is a very popular technique is called emotional freedom technique. So in a emotional freedom technique, it's a you can take some professional help or some coaching programs. Like a yeah, Steam Executive has so many coaching programs starting with a courage. Like obviously, like because we are the company for empowerment, instead of fear, our foundation modules which you have introduced is a courage flourish. So like it's a once you have a courage, you can flourish. So basically, where you can reach to those your past memories, and then you can relate some meaning, and then with certain treatment or some sorts of techniques or some coaching programs, like a to get rid of your fears, and you can
Yeah.
conquer that fears. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well let's talk about being courageous and overcoming fears then. So let's talk a
Yeah.
little bit about
Yeah.
that. Like everyone, I have fears. However, I'm able
Yeah.
to deal with my fear and anxiety effectively. So I pride myself on being able to look fear in the eye and take action, and that's the nature of courage. It's not being afraid, but it's overcoming that fear. So the refusal to allow fear to rule your life and actively pursue the goals and overcome any
Yeah.
fear that stands in the way. So would you like to expand on that a bit?
Yeah, I think sometimes overcoming fears is possible by pursuing your goals, because sometimes each fear which 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 we have, on the other side of that fear is something worthwhile to reach, because why we are having a fear, because it's a lack of confidence, it's a lack of knowledge, lack of self-esteem, like a lack of even lack of even your knowledge that who you really are, like who you are capable of, like your potential, your capacity. Without knowing that, you have just perceptions that if you are doing a particular type of job, and if you set your mind, your frame of mind is that I am good at only this and not other things. So those fears, so basically I consider that when you face your fears bravely, then you can choose to pursue your goals with a confidence and perseverance, so you can accomplish any goals you create for yourself, because each goal you achieve makes you a more capable person, because then you know that I can do, like Sean, anything or everything one person has done in their life, they have done for the first time, first time, like first time experience, when you have not spoken in public. But if you have got the opportunity to speak in public, then you know that you can speak in public. If you have not attempted some sports, but if you just as a hobby you start, then you can think that yes, you can like a overcome the fears, and you can become more successful by reaching your full potential, and despite of your fears, so Sean, the best way is one should ask self reflection questions, that what is the most important goal to achieve, because that will motivate you stepping into the area of unknown, and you can have a progress, and then basically how you can pursue your goals in spite of certain fears. So you can take some help, you can take some resources, even one can take our simple program, which is like a half a day workshop with a courage module. Like, it is not a big investment, so it's small investment, but you are making your path quite quite freely. And the last but not least, but there are so many things which you could eliminate 90% of that fear from your life. It's a very simple things. You don't have to be taking risk or adventures, So, like a very simple thing. So I would just consider that you have to be patient, to do some extra work, and just as uh, fear fear takes time to manifest, ultimately you will conquer, ultimately you will reach. Okay, you might even fail, but sometimes it says failure is also a part of the success. Once you fail once, at least now you will not repeat that mistake. So I would just consider that, even though if you have a simple affirmation that I am courageous and I overcome my fears, if you have that affirmation every day, then probably that is the first baby step you can do, because the more courageous you are willing to be, the more your life expands, And I think flourish is your ultimate dream, That is why you gave the title of the course is a courage, but then second word is flourish.
Yeah,
Because
Flourish is our big program, and that's the
yeah, big
overarching
program.
thing. We
Yeah. So
want people to flourish, and they want to flourish themselves.
yeah, flourish themselves. Yeah.
It's all about growth and reaching full potential.
Yeah. So these are the simple things, but I think because the whole courage module you have designed, Sean, based on the I think workshops in almost like a 10 years ago. It was a full workshop. So and I think that workshop was very well received. People loved it, and like you were one of the most influential presenter speaker. Actually, the workshop was on discover creativity, but you started with the courage because you said courage is the first step for creativity. So can you can you just advise people that what four practical techniques people um, can have to face the fear and then like a move courageously, like live courageously, like four tips if you can give.
Okay, so just emphasising again, the courage isn't about removing the fear, but moving ahead despite being afraid. So if people want to consider some practical techniques, so firstly is to confront it, understand why you have those fears. That makes it much easier for you to face it. And you can only do so by confronting your fear. But fear can be a lifetime enemy only if you let it. So, for example, if you're afraid to start a business, then you can ask yourself, am I scared because I think I won't be able to do it? Or am I afraid that it won't work? You realize that your fear is often based on not trying to feel down about yourself, but you can use this to your advantage. Again, like you were saying before, it's an experience, and that experience can only strengthen you. That's the first one. Second one, use positive self-talk. And we've talked about this before, the idea of positive messages, positive things each day. Inside the business, we use creative and fresh. That's our creative and fresh. That's what we want to be. So speak positivity to yourself. Fear could come from being fed on negativity when you're afraid. So there's a lot of negativity in the news, a lot of negativity on social media, what they call trolls. So instead of sinking yourself into negative thoughts, replace them with positive self-talk, like I am capable of this, even if it's not. That phone call never stops. Get rid of them, even if it's not perfect, and it's okay, not being perfect. If I don't know enough, I can always learn.
Yeah.
Just remember, everyone was once a beginner. And again, your confidence will grow. So that's number two. The third one is practice focusing on your task. This helps you to stay calm and level. It can help you maintain your composure and reduce anxiety. Focus on your task.
Yeah.
When we're afraid, we're usually worried about what might happen, not what is happening at the moment, right? So you're sort of overthinking it. These are the thoughts that make us anxious. So you can learn to identify those thoughts, keep them under control, and not let them take control over you. So focus on your task at hand. That's number three. And the final one, which sounds a bit counterintuitive, is to embrace failure.
Yeah.
So success does not come without loss. And in our part of the courage program that you mentioned, we give a whole host of examples of famous failures. People who failed mammothly, but you don't remember them for their failure. You remember them for their success. So failing at doing something is okay. You don't need to get it right the first time or the time after that. So don't be afraid to fail. See it again as a learning process. And you can only get better by making those mistakes. It'll help you build the resilience and overcome any future challenges. So going back to our flourish idea, have a growth mindset. Believe that you can learn through your failures and try again. Okay, so there's my 4 sort of practical ideas. So would you got anything to finish us off?
No, I think you have given very good, like a clear, like a roadmap, and they are really, when I say practical, so they are practical. Basically, like they are the simple thing one can start immediately, and everything starts from them. And the more you are aware of your own fears, like identify your fears, and then why those fears are there, and then probably you can start like implementing these 4 practical tips which you gave just now. And take our STEAM executive course. Our foundation module is courage, and flourish is our biggest program. 49 videos, 49 videos with many exercise. Like you can reach to a flourish is like a top of the happiness.
Yes.
But the first beginning is a courage, and that like a once again that I am courageous and I am willing to overcome my fears. That is, yeah. So I think this topic really very useful in modern times. Sean, you have been involved with so many other social and community projects, and people these days are having main problem is anxiety and over anxiety. So and with that over anxiety, people don't even try, and then they don't live normal life. So I think to live a flourished life, I think one has to start with our foundation module called courage.
Yeah. Okay, so it's now up to you. So a couple of questions, a couple of things for you to do. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like the video. Remember to press the subscribe button, or press the share button and share with your friends and let them all know about it, and help the channel grow, as they say.
Yeah.
All right, thanks Mahesh, and we'll see everybody again next time. Bye-bye.